Chapter 31. Commit to never zero. You may have to fight a battle more than once to win it. Margaret Thatcher. You now have everything you need to start taking consistent and effective action toward fulfilling your aspirations. The next step is to now make a commitment to follow through with your plan and habits regardless of the fluctuations of mood and motivation. Motivation is important. It is often the initial spark that has set you on a journey. It is that emotional connection with your goal, the feeling of being pulled toward it and energized to take action. The problem is this: motivation is fleeting. It is a feeling, and like all other feelings, it fluctuates. You can't rely on it because it comes and goes. Nobody feels motivated all the time. Self-discipline is, by definition, your ability to act despite motivation, despite what you are feeling or not feeling in the moment. Self-discipline is commitment. Commitment, not motivation. Motivation may get you started on the path, but it's only self-discipline that will help you see it through to the end. Motivation is the initial spark. Self-discipline is continuously fanning the fire. Don't depend on motivation. Instead, make a strong commitment. If you rely on an inconsistent feeling, motivation, to take action, your action will also be inconsistent. It's like a sailor who only knows how to move forward when the wind is at his back. He won't go very far. Therefore, don't expect motivation to precede action. Don't wait to feel motivated to get started. Don't wait for it to feel right. Act regardless of motivation. Take a step forward in the direction of your goals every day, whether you feel like it or not. This is what makes the difference between regret and long-term success. Look at the little chart. When the young comedian Brad Isaac asked Jerry Seinfeld for career advice, Seinfeld told him that he needed to write jokes every day. Not every day that you feel inspired, not every day that you feel funny, every day. In the path toward your aspirations, you will face many setbacks, failures, thank you, Timothy, and disappointments. You will, at times, doubt yourself and doubt the process. These are the defining moments in any journey. It's the time for you to prove what you are made of and reaffirm your aspiration. Here, only commitment to your purpose can help. I have always felt that the medal of a player is not how well he plays when he's playing well, but how well he scores and plays when he's playing poorly. Jack Nicklaus, professional golfer. There are different types of commitment. Some commitments should be non-negotiable. I call them never zero commitments. Others need to be a bit more flexible so that there's not too much pressure in your daily life, which would lead to unnecessary stress. Just keep in mind that the more flexible your mindset is around your commitment, the more likely you are to find an excuse and skip it. The never zero commitment. A commitment is never zero when it is uncompromising. Typically, it will also be a small commitment and time-bound, especially in the beginning when your self-discipline is not strong yet. In other words, you decide on the minimum acceptable version of your habit and commit to do it for a specific time period, no matter what. Never zero is taking full responsibility and control of your life. You decide what you will do, who you will become, and close the door to all possible excuses. You create never zero commitments around the key habits you need to cultivate to advance your goals. Here are some examples. I will meditate for at least 5 minutes a day. For the next 100 days, I will write from 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. Until the end of the year, I won't go to sleep without showing appreciation to my partner. I will study 20 minutes of Spanish every day until my trip to Spain. I will not drink beer or eat sweets until the day after my marathon. You won't be able to make a never zero commitment around every habit. That would be unrealistic and too inflexible. See Chapter 3 on the need to balance self-discipline. Instead, just choose 1 or 2 keystone habits to practice never zero on, with a set start time and duration. You may want to change many things in your life, but it is wiser to start with a single habit and focus on it until it's solid before picking another one. It's better to move forward steadily, even if slowly. Develop self-discipline by taking up one challenge at a time. If you try to commit to everything, you commit to nothing. Once one of your habits is fully integrated, you can then add another one to the stack. For example, if you already have a habit of waking up at 6 a.m. and doing 20 minutes of meditation, then adding a third habit of doing 20 minutes of morning exercise is not that difficult. Thank you, Ramos. It just becomes the thing that I do after meditation. When you develop the skill of never zero in one area of your life, you can then apply it to other areas. With each habit added, self-discipline becomes easier. This is known as the halo effect in habit creation. Your brain now knows how to go through the process of resisting temptation, remaining focused, and prioritizing your long-term goals. Australian researchers Megan Oaten and Ken Chang have even found some evidence of a halo effect around habit creation. In their studies, students who successfully acquired one positive habit reported less stress, less impulsive spending, better dietary habits, decreased alcohol, tobacco, and caffeine consumption, fewer hours watching TV, and even fewer dirty dishes. Sustain the discipline long enough on one habit, and not only does it become easier, but so do other things as well. It is why those with the right habits seem to do better than others. They're doing the most important things regularly, and as a result, everything else is easier. Let's now, Expert from the One Thing by Gary Keller. Let's now discuss each of the 3 elements of the never zero commitment: timely, small, and uncompromising. A timely commitment. Making a never zero commitment is like turning the page in the book of your life. It is a big deal, so it needs a proper start date. This helps build up expectation and focuses your energy. Look at the little chart. Decide on when you will start your commitment. It could be next Monday, on your birthday, or tomorrow. Mark that date on your calendar. Mark that date on your calendar. And if it is a bit far in the future, have a post-it note somewhere helping you constantly remember that a new beginning is approaching. Look forward to it. You also need to decide on the length of your commitment, the number of days, weeks, or months that you will maintain it. Or it could be a lifetime. if it's a commitment to a habit that is essential to who you want to become, or if it's a commitment to break an addiction, such as alcohol or smoking. On March 21st, 2000, I made my never zero commitment toward meditation. I told myself, after attending a workshop, that I would meditate at least 5 days a week for the rest of my life. That was my first attempt at never zero, and it worked for me. After a couple of years, I increased it to 7 days a week, and I've been meditating daily ever since. However, if you are a never zero newbie, it may not be a good idea to start with a lifetime commitment. Perhaps start with something smaller, such as going sugar-free for 50 days, or face my social anxiety every day for 3 weeks. Choose whatever makes sense to you, and then stick to it no matter what. No excuses accepted. During the chosen time, you have no option but to follow your commitment. Only after that time frame can you then reevaluate what to do about it. You may want to go for another never zero sprint. Tweak the time commitment for more or less, or make it a permanent part of your life. A small commitment. A never zero commitment doesn't need to be small, but in the beginning, I'd highly recommend that you make it so. Since the never zero commitment is immutable for the chosen time period, it is better that you are not too ambitious with it in the beginning. Remember the baby steps concept and make it easier for yourself. Start small. You can increase the difficulty later after you have mastered the basics. If you have never had the habit of regular physical exercise, don't commit that you will run 2 hours every day. This would simply create undue pressure, stress you out, and likely end in disappointment and frustration. Instead, start small. It doesn't matter how small the commitment is, so long as it is truly a never zero commitment. Staying with it no matter what is more important than starting big or progressing quickly. Go as far or as slow as you wish. Play as hard or as gradually as you want. But when you make the decision, a commitment, a resolution, then follow it to the end as if it is a life or death situation. Sorry, people coming to my house. Oh, it's the Instacart lady. I was like, who is that? An exception to this rule is if your never zero is a not to do commitment, such as stop smoking or stop drinking alcohol. If that is your goal and you are brave enough to accept a taste of hell for a couple of months, then you can go cold turkey. In these cases, going directly from complete abstinence may be easier than trying moderation and playing with fire. An uncompromising commitment. During the time frame of your commitment, there are no acceptable excuses. The commitment is non-negotiable. You may tweak the amount of time you are committing to follow never zero or the size and difficulty of your habit, but not its uncompromising nature. Otherwise, there's no point. Once you start, you finish it. No matter what. In this sense, this method is an expression of the remove your options technique covered in chapter 29. Even in the presence of doubt, fear, or pain, take action. Even if you are confused or demotivated, take action. This is the meaning of the no matter what. It doesn't matter if you feel exhausted one day or if you worked 23 hours that day. It doesn't matter if there's a death in the family, an economic crisis, a new pandemic, or the beginning of the Third World War. And it most certainly doesn't matter if you feel like doing it or not. That is the full meaning of never and never zero. In mindful self-discipline, 100% commitment is easier than a 99% commitment because it helps you avoid decision fatigue. When the rule is flexible, 99%. You always need to consider if today is the day you should make that exception. But when the rule is an uncompromising 100%, then there's nothing you need to think about. You have already made your decision. Your mind is freed from the burden of weighing your options every time. This saves you energy and gives you peace of mind. Cut it out. Hey, stop. Never zero is almost a do or die type of determination. This figure of speech may feel exaggerated, but this is how inner strength is forged. This strength of determination leads to self-respect, self-confidence, and self-love. And with that, you can achieve anything. It may feel scary to commit like this because it's powerful and unapologetic. You can feel how serious it is, and if it doesn't feel like that, it's either because your commitment is not uncompromising or it's too small. Take this fear and this feeling of gravity to be a good sign. You are moving out of your comfort zone. You are placing a big bet on yourself. Many good things will come out of it. One of the meditation masters I most resonate with, Swami Vivekananda. I'm sorry, I just slaughtered your name, Swami. My bad. Used to say, believe in yourself and the world will be at your feet. You don't need to have any ambition for world domination to feel the power of that statement. He is not talking about regular self-confidence. He's talking about having faith in yourself and absolute trust in yourself. This is the kind of faith that moves mountains. Never zero is the fuel of willpower. Look at this fuel. Look at this fire. But how can you believe in yourself if you keep breaking your promises to yourself? At the end of the day, self-discipline is much more than achieving your goals. That is just the training ground. Self-discipline, mindful self-discipline, is about developing this type of inner strength and power. Yes, with it you can achieve great things, but this in itself is already its own reward. Don't let your personal fire die out through excuses, exceptions, or mood fluctuations. Let it be that, and at least in one area of your life, for a small period of time, your willpower is absolute and knows no expectations. Burn brighter. Draw the line that you will not cross, and then don't cross it no matter what. This is integrity. This is willpower. This is mindful self-discipline. Key points. Motivation is important, but not enough. You need to rely on commitment, not motivation, because motivation is a feeling. It fluctuates. Don't expect to feel right. Act despite motivation. Never zero. Create never zero commitments around your key habits, one at a time. A never zero commitment is a timely, small, and uncompromising. Timely. Decide on a start date and the length of the commitment. It could be a lifetime if it's about an essential habit or if it's a commitment to break an addiction. Small. Choose the minimum action. Follow the baby steps concept and stick to it no matter what. Don't be overly ambitious in the beginning. Uncompromising. There are no acceptable excuses to skip. This may feel scary, but it's powerful and unapologetic. Never zero commitments not only change your life, but they also build greater self-confidence and willpower. This inner strength is its own reward. You know now exactly what to do, how to do it, and why. So commit to take a step towards your goal every day. Do this now before you read another page. This will change your life. From this day onward, I commit to blank every blank, no matter what. Done? Chapter 32.